decades.
Thoughtful. This behaviour is why in Spain the bearded vulture is called quebrantahuesos, the bone breaker.
And its Latin species name, ossifrage, also means bone breaker. Even the ancient Romans noticed and remembered this extraordinary behaviour. Why eat bones when there is meat available? The answer is bone marrow. Inside large bones lies a rich, fatty marrow, one of the most calorie-dense and nutritious substances in nature. It consists primarily of fat, the kind of fat that delivers maximum energy at minimum weight. Most animals cannot access these reserves. The bearded vulture solved this problem using gravity and acid. Simpler and more efficient solutions are hard to imagine. Now, the orange dye. A young bearded vulture is dark brown, almost black. In early adulthood, white and cream feathers begin to appear on the head and chest. But a fully mature bird in its prime has a vivid rust orange or deep red colouring on the chest, belly and head. This is not the natural colour of the feathers. The feathers themselves are white or cream yellow.
The bird dyes itself deliberately.
It seeks out specific springs or pools in the mountains, containing water and mud rich in iron oxide, iron rust, and bathes in them. The iron oxide stains the feathers a vivid orange or rust red colour. A bird may spend hours bathing in these springs, regularly renewing its coloration. Why? Scientists offer two main theories. The first, it is a display of status and strength. Iron-rich springs are located high in the mountains and are not easy to find. Only an experienced and physically powerful bird can reach them regularly. The deeper and brighter the orange colour, the older and more experienced the bird. It is a kind of natural badge of honour. The second theory, protection. Iron oxide may kill bacteria and fungi that would otherwise thrive in feathers constantly in contact with rotting meat and bones. Both theories may be correct simultaneously. The bearded vulture lives exclusively in mountains. The Pyrenees on the border of Spain and France, the Alps, Switzerland, Austria, France, Italy. The Caucasus, the Himalayas, where the largest individuals are found. The mountains of East and South Africa, including the Drakensberg Range. Wherever there are steep cliffs, thermal currents along slopes, and enough large animals, sheep, goats, deer, ibex, to leave skeletons behind when they die. A pair occupies a territory of 200 to 400 square kilometres, a vast area patrolled daily as the birds soar above the slopes, scanning the ground with their sharp eyes. The eyesight of the bearded vulture is another extraordinary tool. Like most birds of prey, it relies on vision rather than smell to find food. It flies low over the slopes, sometimes so close to the rock face it almost seems to touch it, carefully scanning every rocky ledge, every hollow, every snowdrift where a dead animal might be concealed. Its eyes can detect details at distances that a human being cannot even imagine.
The bearded vulture breeds early, very early.
In the Alps, it begins laying eggs in late December or January, in the middle of winter, when the mountains are frozen and snow-covered and most birds are not even thinking about reproduction. This early breeding date is directly connected to the feeding needs of the chick. Young chicks cannot yet digest bone. They need fresh meat in their first weeks of life. So the parents must time everything so that the chick hatches at the end of winter, when the mountains contain the maximum number of carcasses of animals that did not survive the harsh conditions of the season or were killed by avalanches. Nature gave this bird a precise internal calendar. A pair lays 1 or 2 eggs, but usually only one chick survives. If 2 hatch, fierce competition begins between them for food and parental attention. The older, stronger chick systematically pushes the younger away from food until the weaker one dies of exhaustion. Biologists call this Cainism, after the biblical Cain who killed his brother Abel. Brutal, but efficient. The parents preserve all their resources for one strong offspring, rather than dividing them between 2 weaker ones. The parents incubate the eggs for approximately 55 days. The chick hatches tiny and dark, covered in almost black down, and weighs just 150 grams. Parents feed it fresh meat in its early weeks, carefully torn pieces carried back to the nest. Gradually, small bones and cartilage are introduced to the diet. The chick remains in the nest for nearly 100 to 110 days, one of the longest nest periods among birds of prey. After fledging, the young bird stays near its parents for several more years, learning to find bones and mastering the technique of dropping them. This skill takes time and practice, and not all young birds learn it at the same rate. Sexual maturity in the bearded vulture comes at 5 to 7 years of age, but successful breeding usually only begins at 8 or 9 years.